Well, hey everybody, this is Tim Corcoran here for another Tim Talk, and I'm so honored and pleased that any of you watch these, and I truly hope, my heart of hearts, that they help you in any way possible. So let's get to it. The first one, I'm looking at my notes here, the art of self-reliance in nature equals freedom in all areas of life. What a big statement. The art of self-reliance in nature equals freedom in all areas of life. And then I could say, when you have a sense of freedom, then your creative side has a chance to come out and live and express itself to you. Your relationships go deeper because you become deeper. You become less enamored or less tied down to fear and negative thoughts and laziness and such. You're more open person. And so all in your life benefit. Your kids, your family, your friends, your if you're a teacher, the kids you teach, people you love, everyone benefits. So let's get into it a little bit. How is that possible? So go back in time for a minute. Take a moment, close your eyes, and go back to a time when you lived on the land in a small village. Your ancestors, all that you got came from nature. You didn't have a grocery store to go to. You didn't have a hardware store to go to. You didn't have Amazon.com to order from. You had to make everything. You had to work for all the food that you had by hunting and fishing and gathering. So just take a minute to see yourself back somewhere in that time, somewhere in the world. For me, it would be my Celtic ancestors living in Northern Ireland, living off the coast, living in rock huts with thatched roofs. You can even ask your ancestors to help you with this idea of self-reliance. Now open your eyes up and let's think about it for a second. If you here now in the modern world assess yourself, and I know we're all different, and this is not in any way a negative comment or set of comments here. We're all in this together. But it's when we moved out of the industrial age, out of the old ways and into the industrial age, somewhere around a couple hundred years ago, but probably for the most part quite a bit sooner, more like the turn of the beginning of the 1900s, we threw out our old skills. When our ancestors wiped out the Native American tribes in North America, we didn't grab on to the incredible earth skills they had and keep them alive and use them. We showed very little interest at all. And as the modern world came into effect around 1900, anything that we had that hard work, working with the land and such, unless it was already our living, like someone like a farmer or a forester or something, we let it all go. And now we're in 2021, and we live in front of computers, cell phones. Everything's done for us. Anytime anything goes wrong in our homes, we call someone to do it. The art of self-reliance, of being able to take care of our own stuff, of ourselves, is quickly drifting away. And in so doing, we lose something particularly wonderful within us. The ability to create, the ability to have faith in ourselves, to believe in ourselves, that we can do things, that we can handle problems, that we can problem solve. We're losing that. And it permeates out into all aspects of life. So if we can just begin to reclaim one aspect of it, the art of self-reliance, by learning the skills we need to learn to go into nature and feel safe. Now imagine if you know how to build a shelter, if you know how to make a fire, even if it's not a bow drill fire, even if it's with matches, that's an art that's even been lost. If you know how to move through the landscape in a way that's safe for your body and for the animals and things that live around you, if you learn how to find some wild foods and how to rock hop across creeks and how to climb trees and go down trails and go off the trail and not worry about getting lost, you don't. When you're able to do this, your creative side bursts. It comes up within you. It becomes living. And your wonder side comes up. And your play and fun side comes up. And the essence of who you are, that amazing person that you are, gets to come out and play with nature or sacred earth. When you're living in fear, when you're unsure on how to make a fire, you're unsure if you're going to get lost, you're unsure how to cross a creek, you're unsure how to get off a trail and be okay, then you're always guarded, and that true being that lives within you doesn't have a chance to emerge and enjoy the world. And you lose, and it loses, and your friends, your family, your country, everyone else loses too, because they don't get you. They don't get the true you. So there's a tremendous importance in learning to take care of yourself. Imagine for a second if, we've had this COVID-19 tragedy, but imagine something really, really horrible where, look what's been happening in Texas. I'm giving this talk in the middle of the freeze in Texas. People have no water. If grocery stores are closed, there are miles and miles long lines of cars to get water in a bottle. Imagine if the post office didn't work, if you couldn't go to the grocery store and buy what you want, or a restaurant, if you couldn't get water. We wouldn't know what to do. We're helpless. And probably, just to deviate a little bit, just to remind you, one of the greatest insurance policies you'll ever have is friends, community, family. So don't ever underestimate the power of that. And that, again, was part of the self-reliance that our ancestors had. They had community, and the community worked as a whole to allow for everyone to have food, everyone to have shelter, everyone to be safe, everyone to have water. The community worked as a whole, young and old. Everyone within the community had their own unique gifts that they could bring to the table, but they also had the ability to do many things. And one of the great assets of that was, and the gifts of it was, they were willing to be there for something bigger than the individual, for the greater good, the health and life of the community. And when I talk about community, I extend it out beyond the human community to the community of animals, plants, trees, and our very earth itself. That's how I look at things. It either all becomes safe and okay and respected, or it all falls apart. And certainly we're in those times now. 2021 is the year of the beginning of climate change becoming so serious that we don't have any time to look back. We have to act now. And we see it in a microcosm with things like what's happening in Texas, the fires that happened this last year in California, Australia, on and on, right? So self-reliance, the art of being able to take care of yourself. Part of it's just your confidence. You believe enough in yourself that you can just go out and know you're going to figure something out. The other part is curiosity, learning how to do things, reading books, studying, asking questions of people, paying attention, being curious. And then the other part of it is just doing it, just being willing to do it. So take this idea of self-reliance And take some classes in wild edible plants. Learn how to make fires. Learn how to make shelters. Go out and take some classes or just practice. Learn how to get off the trail and get lost and found. It's a great feeling. And watch yourself soar. Watch freedom soar. So just to wrap this little talk up, just a little inspirational talk, hoping to get you to think about how you can be more self-reliant and take care of yourself and your family and your community without always asking for help or paying for help. Nothing wrong with either of those. There's a time and a place for it all. Like, for me, I know I don't like plumbing, so I'm going to pay a plumber to come out and do the plumbing, right? But I know that if I had to, I could do basic plumbing. One of the areas I think that is one of the greatest is learning to cook, learning to take care of yourself that way. It's a place you can start, be very self-reliant at home in your house, but also going out in nature and living with nature in a way that says, I believe in myself, I'm confident, I can do it. And in that process, nature opens herself up to you, you open up to nature, and your relationship gets deeper, as all of them do. So I'm rambling a little bit right now, but I'm hoping you'll absorb this idea of self-reliance. Look in the mirror. How does it relate to you? Assess yourself in that category. And then inspire yourself to every day or week or month to go out and learn a new skill and become more self-confident, more self-reliant, and watch how it expands out into your life. And your life just gets more amazing. And more amazing people are good for the earth. Hope.